So this video is going to be about some basic roadway terminology, and it's basically the main basic roadway concepts that anyone who is just starting in the roadway industry or the transportation industry, these are the things that they need to know, and some terms that will be said pretty much on a daily basis. So it's really good to understand these concepts, and I usually always do this lesson to new EITs or interns who are going to be working with me. So let's go ahead and get started. So first we have typical section, and there's usually we have existing and proposed typical sections. So when we produce a plan set, which is a set that designers give the contractor so that they can build our roadway, we include these typical sections. And these typical sections basically just explain to the contractor what is happening in the field, right? So the existing typical section is what is currently there. So in this case, we have two 12-foot lanes. It's a two-way road with 6-foot shoulders, and we have a 120 foot right-of-way. And for the proposed typical section, we see that we now have we still have the two 12-foot lanes, but now we're increasing the shoulder here. So this is the proposed, which is what is going to be built, and this is what was previously there. So that's what the typical section means. Now if we go to the next term, it's the right-of-way. And if you can see here, we have a 120-foot right-of-way. And this right-of-way just means the property that is owned by the client. And we need to make sure that our proposed design stays within this right-of-way. So there is existing right-of-way, which this would technically be, but then there's also proposed right-of-way, which is if we do for some reason need to buy right-of-way from an adjacent property owner. So if we go to the next, number 3, plan and profile sheets. So this is a really important topic, and this is pretty much included in every single roadway plan set, and that is the plan and profile sheet. And in the plan and profile sheet, we have these subcategories of horizontal alignment and the profile grade line. So let me pull up a plan and profile sheet. We can take a look at it. So in this case, we have in this bottom right hand corner, we have plan and profile sheet, we have the roadway, and this top view here is the plan view. And this is basically, it's basically the top view. And if we see here, the center line of this road, this is the horizontal alignment. So this is the X and Y that the roadway is going to follow. And if you see here, we have the two 12-foot lanes with the 10-foot shoulders and the 120-foot right-of-way. And if we look on the bottom, this is the profile view, and this is the elevation control. So this is how so basically the plan and profile sheets define how our roadway is behaving horizontally and vertically. So if we go to the next one, it's cross slope. So you're always going to hear this cross slope, and you have these subcategories, which is super elevation and normal crown. And in this proposed typical section, we have a normal crown situation, which basically means that at the center line, here is the PGL, and the edge of pavements are sloping away from it, down and away from it. And usually the normal crown, usually this occurs when the roadway is on a tangent, which means horizontally it's going straight, and a super elevated section is when the horizontal alignment is on a horizontal curve. And all super elevation means is that the roadway surface is going to be sloping to either direction, but it's all going to be sloping one direction. And I can show you an example of this at the end of the video, so you can better understand how this works. And the last topic is the cover, or sometimes called the depth of cover. And this is basically the distance between the bottom of the pavement structure and the top of the culvert. So let me pull up a culvert layout so we can see what exactly this is. So here is a culvert layout, and this is basically a plan and profile of the culvert, right? So, but if we zoom in here, here is the cross section for the culvert, which is at station 924, and the cover at this section, which is the distance between the bottom of the roadway pavement and the top of the culvert. So here would be the cover at the center line, and here would be the cover at the edge of pavement, and the same cover at the edge of pavement. So this is really important because we usually do not want the pavement structure sitting on top of the culvert pipe. We usually want some clearance there. So here I'm going to further explain the normal cross slope or the normal crown and the super elevation. So if we see here's a 3D model of the roadway that I showed the proposed typical section for, and so here is our horizontal tangent here, but it also turns into a curve here. So, but if we see this blue line is the cross section at station 742, and it's a normal crown because we're on a tangent. But as we approach this curve, let's see what happens. So I'll click through. And we can see some point right before the curve, the cross slope of the roadway starts sloping to entirely one side. And this is what super elevation means. And I'll leave this video at that, and we can get into more of these topics in further videos. Thank you.